frightened away from campsites or driven into killing grounds. But not only was meat more readily obtained, cooking also made complex animal proteins more digestible, leading to taller, stronger humans with larger brains that in turn devised more complex and efficient hunting strategies. This positive spiral was one of the forces driving human evolution. There was another, less tangible benefit. For the first time in the history of life on Earth, a creature could create and control shadows. In observing the relationships between living things and their two-dimensional representations, these fire users, quite possibly, began the process of abstract thought itself, as demonstrated in cave paintings dating to 30,000 years before the birth of Christ. It is very nearly as if the ego awoke and said, "I am." In addition, as firelight pushed back the night, human beings, poorly adapted for the darkness, had more time in which to interact, to communicate, to dance, and speak of the day's events. These early pantomimes allowed the old hunters to teach young ones the methods of avoiding predators and obtaining prey. Storytelling allowed human beings to create their identities, to ask questions about their world only later generations could answer. Humans created story, but in another, perhaps deeper sense, story created humanity. 700,000 years earlier, the ancestors of these first modern humans witnessed the birth of the mountains called Kilimanjaro and Meru. By far the larger of the two, Kilimanjaro was born when an ocean of magma burned its way through the earth and broke free to the surface. Liquid rock gushed and then cooled. Every few years or centuries, this blazing viscous fluid deposited layer upon smoldering layer. Eventually, the volcanic spire would dominate the equatorial horizon, a beacon to the adventurous long before the first Arab ship logs described it in 200 AD. Scaling Kilimanjaro is like walking from the equator to the Arctic in a single week. For the first 6,000 to 9,000 feet, its vegetation is a virtually impassable tropical rainforest, an eternal dank green canopy thick enough to blot out the sun. From 9,000 to 13,000 feet, this transforms into equally dense heath and moorland. From 13,000 to 17,000 feet, all of this changes. Vegetation recedes and alpine desert dominates. It is a world of cactus and harsh gravel, of piercing sun and thinning air, a change often disorienting in its abruptness. Above 17,000 feet exists an alien winter world, the only snow to be found in equatorial Africa. Here, where the air pressure is less than half that at sea level, no animals can live. No plant life is to be found save lichens. Europeans say the mountain went unclimbed until 1887, when a German named Hans Meyer found a way through the rock and ice. If one believes the old stories, the Europeans are wrong. The Chaga, folk who have lived at Kilimanjaro's feet for thousands of years, have ancient legends of princes whose courtiers died carrying them to the top, that they might see the sunrise before any of their subjects. The detail in these legends is consistent with the reality of the climb. This is the story of the first courageous souls to scale this, the tallest freestanding mountain in all the world, folk who lived in the shadow of Kilimanjaro and its nearby smaller mate, Mount Meru. It tells of our distant ancestors, the first animals with more information in their brains than in their genes. This is the tale of the first to look down from this great peak's impossible heights. A boy who discovered a new world, and a girl who ended the old one. Nameless.